what I see and hear from parents is, oh, I wish I had this story when I was younger.
Yeah.
And so there's something in the intergenerational part where the parent picks up a book, they read it with their little one, that they get the medicine they didn't get when
Yes.
they needed it as a kid. And
The connection between storytelling and healing and self-discovery is.
storytelling is an interesting word in its own right, because as humans we are storytellers. We go back to that, those tribes sitting around the bonfire on the full moon. They would be telling stories, the as a way to pass along wisdom and insight from generation to generation.
So I asked the universe for a sign, and you gave me static. Try again.
Initiating guest scan. Vessels in entering the Innerverse. Name: Cynthia. Role: emotional alchemist, known for creating sacred spaces where healing feels safe, embodied, and whole. Primary mission: to guide others back to themselves through softness, depth, and grounded compassion. Frequency signature: 528 Hz, heart portal activated. Emotional field: calm, crystalline, restorative. Vessel integrity: solid. Vibe scan: passed. Welcome aboard, Cynthia.
Hello, Captain LA here of the Ether of Voyager. It's nice to connect with you.
Hey, nice to connect with you.
Awesome. So every time I meet a new traveler amongst the stars, I created a little game to play to break the ice. And it is the cosmic wheel of wisdom. So we
Ooh,
spin the wheel, it's a bunch of random questions, and whatever it lands on, you get to answer.
my
You
favorite. I
ready?
love it. Yes.
All right. The cosmic wheel of wisdom. If you met an alien, what's the first thing
Ooh.
you'd ask them?
The first thing I would ask them, honestly, if it is, if there was like another like planet or dimension that I can move to, that would be my question.
So like where would it be like safe or like what's a good planet that you could transition from?
Yes, yes. If
Oh,
if there's like another planet that I can move to with my children and myself. Yes.
nice. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there's so many out there. We just
Hmm.
don't know.
I know. And I want to know, right? Even if it's like a vacation or,
Oh,
hmm.
oh, vacationing to another planet. Soon, right? In the next I'll give
Yes.
it I'll give it ugh, I'll say the next 200 years will be vacationing
Well,
on other
my
planets.
great grandchildren will be here. Yes.
Yeah, we got to give it time because we're still trying to figure out the whole Mars thing. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Even though they said that there has been people on Mars for quite some time, you know. Yeah. So
Okay.
think I think maybe Mars is the next logical next step. So tell me a little bit about how
Hmm.
you developed your psychic gifts and healing abilities. Tell me about that journey.
So I've always had them. I grew up in a Catholic household and I literally always had them. I've been able to see the dead and I thought it was normal. At church I used to question and they used to dodge my stuff. And in 2020, I started getting into spirituality and, um, you know, extraterrestrials and stuff like that. And then I started really tapping into my gifts and being able to channel and do readings and stuff for other people. And then the
Mm,
healing started really in 2021. That's when the healing
mhm.
started. Yeah.
Yeah, that seems to be a time that was a catalyst for a lot of people. I know it was for me. 2021 was hell of a year, but but it like transitioned
Hmm.
me rapidly into my next awakening, right?
Oh,
So
oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, that was an interesting time. I just started getting into astrology, so I don't really know what was happening in the cosmos at that time, but I can only
Oh,
assume it was something
really?
huge.
You know what's so
Yeah.
crazy? Around my literally my awakening, I was going through my Saturn return when I had my son in 2020 March. So my Saturn's in
Mm,
Aquarius. I was like,
mm,
I think I was like 27 or something. And when I started getting into it, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going through my Saturn return. And then everything went to crap.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a really rough time for that's like because like we could say in our life that's the time where we're actually transition because we like to think in our 20s that we're adults. But not really.
Yeah.
It's
No, for real.
that period where you transition into your 30s where you're really
Yeah.
like okay, and that seems to is the Saturn return where everyone
Yeah.
really awakens to like oh crap, I'm an adult.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, what do you think the importance of self trust and intuition is on the healing journey?
Oh my God, I think that is so important. I think that should be number one. Don't ever question yourself, okay? I feel like it can be difficult. I'm a Virgo and I like actual literal proof in my reality, and I
Mhm.
struggled with that a lot where you have people around you telling you what you're feeling is not right, but then your body and in yourself, you're feeling it. So it's difficult, but I feel like you really need to work on that third eye and that trust within yourself and the trust with source, with the universe, whatever you want to
Mm.
call it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, God, the universe,
Yeah.
whatever you subscribe to.
Yes.
But yeah, you're so right. Like trusting yourself because one, we exist in this body, right? So if we don't trust ourselves, how can we trust anything?
Yeah.
But I think it's something you said that was really important is environment, right?
Yeah.
And that can cause so much self doubt and questioning. I know I went through that a lot in my journey,
Yeah.
just people looking at me like,
Like, are you
yeah,
okay?
you're crazy. Yeah, right, right. And I'm like, I think I am,
Yeah.
but really learning to embrace my own experience and trust in that.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people have issues with that, right?
Hmm.
Because,
Oh
like you
yeah.
said, environment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. You have people that you love or people even that you look up to that are telling you one thing, but then it's like intuition comes in different ways. For me, it's like a gut feeling, but other people it could be like a voice in their head or whatever, right? Yeah. It comes
yeah,
either way.
yeah. I think the key thing is to be aware, right?
Yeah.
Because really, we always get signs. It's just whether or not we're in a place where we can really see it or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
and so I think that's so important. So with that, why do you think people have such a hard time looking inward for answers instead of seeking external validation?
Why people, okay. I Damn, that's a good ass question. I feel like maybe it's conditioning. Maybe it's conditioning,
Yeah.
right? I feel like I could speak for myself. I feel like where um I mean, it's just a bunch of trauma that's stacked on and the way that I was raised, and being codependent on my end, right? I was codependent and stuff like that. And with that, it's difficult to trust what you think, because then I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, I think this, but let me go on and ask this person. So that's speaking for myself. I feel like it can manifest different in other people, but it's trauma. It's trauma.
Mm. Yeah, you summed it up perfectly. It's pretty much trauma, all the trauma of I think we go back, it's like usually what seems to be the theme, of course, because when we're children, especially really young, those are our formative years. And that
Mhm.
seems to be the time where they implant all of those, ideologies and programming into us that sticks, even when we may not realize it. And then it manifests in our
Yes.
reality as we grow older.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So, yeah,
As
I
a
think you're
mother
right.
myself, I try my hardest. I do see a lot of parts of my parents in me, but I try my hardest not to push anything onto my kids and let them, just do them and believe in what they believe in. One of them, like me, believes in aliens, and the other one questions it. And I'm like, cool, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think especially for the parents out there, like so much kudos to you guys for breaking down all of those, generational trauma and rearranging and reprogramming and rewiring your DNA so that you can heal the future generations. I think people don't really give you guys that much credit for that because it's hard. and
Yeah,
but it's like you can literally, see it changing as you change yourself, see the DNA, transforming.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So when was a time that your intuition told you something before you could actually like process it in your mind, and what happened? Like when did you realize like, oh, my intuition is telling me something right now, and what happened in that moment?
This was in 2021, and I was on the East Coast, and I was, living my life with my husband and my kids, and there was just a lot going on. Again, my Saturn return, and I had this, like, just this feeling. Now I know it's my intuition telling me to come back home to my parents' house, and I never wanted to do that. And then this internal battle, and I was always questioning, like, why. So then during that time, I was getting readings and stuff, and I was pulling cards for myself, and the message was to go back home. Now, going way back before I moved to the East Coast, because I am from California, my trigger response is flight. So when I was 19, I had gotten into it with my family, and I just like up and left, and I never turned back. And I realized that spirit, and there is like my soul telling me it's time to heal that part of you. And that was my intuition
Mm-hmm.
telling me, girl, you have to go back. So during that time, I was, talking to my partner and, in-laws and some friends, and they all were telling me I was being impulsive, but I couldn't shake the feeling, and I just up and left. I grabbed my
Mm-hmm.
three kids and I up and left, and I think that is when the real healing started, because it's one thing when you separate yourself from the root of your trauma and your toxic family members, but it's another thing when you're gone for X amount of time and then you come back to see, are you healed? Like, this is a test. How is Cynthia going to react
Mm-hmm.
when this family member, stands strong in their beliefs and the beliefs are dysfunctional? How is Cynthia going to react? And that was a true test for me. So that's where my intuition led me on my journey. One of the times. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, that's okay. That's like really amazing, and I can so relate to that because I guess in a sense I do like to move around a lot and kind of
Yes.
in the beginning it was I guess running away, from
Yes.
it. Like I had to get away from it all. I'm like
Yes.
I just can't do this. But
Mm-hmm.
then I was called to move to a place where my ancestors originally were brought, and
Oh my
I lived through
gosh.
generations. Yeah, and ooh, that was serious. Like they pushed me into the awakening,
Wow. That's
and
beautiful.
it is that is literally the catalyst to my current journey. It was that time, but it was like something pulling me there. Like I really was trying to go there so hard. I used to travel for work, and there was a project there, and I was trying so hard to get on it, but I kept getting rejected. I literally got rejected for the project for like seven
Wow.
times, and I'm not even exaggerating. Like seven times they told me no, so I gave up. And then once I gave up, out of the blue, one of my old bosses hit me up and said that they ended up taking over the contract, and he called me out there. And it was the perfect timing because I was in a mental space of healing already. I had just started, and I guess I needed to awaken to that because they was like, you're not going to be ready for what's about to come when
Yeah.
you come here. But yeah, it just opened me up spiritually so much. But yeah, it was just this thing where I'm like, I gotta go to this place. I gotta go to this place. And I don't even know why. I've
Mm-hmm.
never been here, you know.
Yep.
But yeah, it was a major healing experience for me.
It'd be like that, yeah.
Yeah. And that was also a lesson in trusting divine timing because I was trying to force
Yes.
something to happen, but the universe was like, nope, not until we're ready.
Yeah.
So, how do you think the chakras impact our emotional, physical, and spiritual health?
I feel like it impacts it like a lot. So chakras are energy, and they're I like to work with the seven main ones. There's like a but I forgot how much they are, but the seven main
Like a
ones, it's like
hundred and something.
I
Yeah.
know it's a lot. Like, I like to focus on the main ones, and I just feel like, there's trauma in each one. There's trauma in each one. And I feel like, going through them and this working and trying to, you know, not I don't believe in forcing anything open. I've heard really bad stories about that, but just, trying to like first be self-aware and then going on and like asking yourself what are you going to do about it. But yeah, I feel like there's like a lot of trauma there, and then just learning how to balance them and connect with them, because we are energy. Like humans are energy. Yeah, we're like in this meat bodysuit, but we are energy and energy is real, and you need to clear the energy, you need to heal the energy, because we live in a world of, I think it's duality, where there's good and there's bad and all that. So heal your chakras.
Yeah, you're right. We are light beings. We are beings of
Yes.
energy. So, like you said, and it's energy all around us. So it is a constant aligning and clearing of things because the world, the universe, everything is made up of energy. And so we're
Hmm.
constantly just in this whole entanglement. And yeah, we have to tune in with ourselves and really align a lot. And when I got into the human design, like studying that, and studying the energetic centers in my personal makeup
Ooh.
is, yeah, it's amazing. I found out like my root chakra energy is open. So that means that,
Okay.
how they say your environment plays a big role in everything, which it does for everyone. But for me, I literally absorb the energy from my environment. So I always have to constantly ground. And it was something that I was like kind of noticing, like, oh, when I'm around certain environments, I kind of veer off whatever it is I'm doing and adapt to the environment. And that's because my root chakra is open. So it's really important, the environment and the people that I keep around me.
Oh wow. What's your human design? I'm a projector.
Me too. We're rare.
I love that. I love that. Okay.
Yes.
Wow. I don't really know much about the human design with like the energies. I feel like that's like a whole nother language. I could barely with astrology. But
Oh,
all I
yes.
know is that I have like the splenic, I think it's authority, and I
Oh,
pick up
yep.
on energies that are not mine, and I've recently learned to send the energy back.
The Intergalactic Council presents the Chakra Alignment Service, your soul's emergency recalibration protocol. Have you ever experienced resentinifying due to space-time distortions, unresolved karmic loops, or excessive dunes growing across dimensions? Fear not, our Department of Energy Optimization now offers a free galactic energy scan. Bonus, first-time travelers receive a complimentary aura tune-up, because let's be honest, you need it. Warning, side effects may include spontaneous enlightenment and the inability to tolerate low-vibe conversations. Council out.
Yep, same here. I guess, which is also a rare makeup. I'm also splenic as well. And so the one thing I had to learn about that was, as we talked about in the beginning, trusting my intuition, because it's so
Mm-hmm.
important for us, because we get that split second where it's like, hey, this is happening, and then
Yes.
it'll go away, and then the mind starts to work. So I had to learn, like, when I get that split, I got to go with that, and before my mind starts chattering, it's
Yeah.
extremely important. But here's trick with the human design and all that, because all of that is like beyond me. I don't really have the capacity for those kinds of things. So I input it into Chat GPT.
Yes.
I input my whole human design. I input my whole natal chart. So now
Mm-hmm.
Chat keeps track of that for me.
Yes,
So that's a
I
good, easy
I
trick to.
I recently did that with the I love doing journal prompts, and the nodes recently changed. I think the north node is in Pisces and the south node is in Virgo, and I was like, I need to do some healing, and I
Oh
put
my
it in the
God.
chat, and I got like a bunch of yeah.
That's so funny too. I guess it would make sense because you're a projector. But yeah, my north node is in Pisces. My south node is in
Oh,
Virgo. Yeah,
okay. Wow. I love
yeah.
that.
So that's interesting. Like like our charts are like synced. But um, so what's the process you do when you conduct like chakra readings or healing sessions?
Okay, so one of the very first things is that I like to ground before, like way before, I like to ground and do like a meditation because I need to protect my energy. I tend to, when I do readings, I pick up on everything, so I just need to ground. And then, through the chakra readings that I do, I've learned to use just myself and my psychic abilities. I don't really rely on cards much anymore because I can, see. Sometimes I do because, I'm a mother and it's just like a lot of energy. But I just go through your like energy scan and like I am clear sentient. So I talk a lot in my head and I ask spirit, hey, where is it that this, person needs healing? And I feel pressure at whatever part of my body. And then things just like flow and we just get to talking and I deliver messages and that's how the chakra reading goes.
Wow, that's amazing. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm still learning about all the different like clairaudience and clairsentience and things like that.
Yeah.
Um, but something I noticed a lot, what you said. is the different, like I've been introduced to like some new readers, but they're really more channelers, like kind of like you said, like they
Yeah.
might pull out a deck and they might pull a card, but then the rest of the reading is just them
Yes.
channeling. And I
Yeah.
realize I like that a lot more. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
So
I tend to
if you
do
could,
that.
yeah, no, I think it's so cool. I was like, I never saw this style of reading
Hmm.
before, but it seems to be a lot more people like that coming into the forefront. So I'm like, I'm all here for it. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love my cards. When I first started, I relied a lot on my cards. And I used to do card readings, but just recently I've shifted and I have like, programs and stuff. And I feel like it's really, really deep work. So I try to like I'll limit myself to like 45 minutes of like channeling because I get tired, girl, okay? I get really, really tired. And after, I like to go to sleep, so.
I mean, yeah, because you're just absorbing all of this energy. So I can only imagine, like, uh, just because I'll watch them and then you can like feel them getting the downloads
Yes.
and then they're like trying to talk and they're like, yes, it's so much. It's so much.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that's so cool.
Yep.
So
I
if
feel
you could
like,
describe your energy, yeah,
hmm
go ahead.
no,
No, go ahead.
it's fine.
Yes.
You could go. I lost it. It's okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's,
It's a slight delay here. I'm
it's
sorry.
okay.
Okay, so hopefully I'll say this and you think about it and it comes back. But if you could describe your energy in one word right now, what would it be?
I would say, what is that word that I'm saying? It's like, is that a word? Is pleasurable a word? Is that a word?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's.
yeah, yeah. Pleasurable.
Oh, it just moved you and did something weird here.
Oh no! Can you see me?
I can see you. Yes, I don't know what just
Okay.
happened, but yeah, I heard you. Yeah, yeah. Um, nice. So, and I think we kind of touched on this earlier, but what role does self worth play in the healing journey?
Self-worth plays a huge role. Just because I feel like that just shows you how you view yourself and how you want to be viewed for others. I think boundaries is a huge thing in self-worth. Internal boundaries with yourself and external boundaries, you know? Yeah. I feel like that one plays
Yeah, yeah,
huge.
nice. Yeah, especially the boundaries thing. I had to learn. Um, it's so funny. The book, "The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck." That
Ooh.
was my introduction into putting up boundaries with my family because it was something I had never done
Mm.
before. And it made me realize, like, listen, you got to really start caring about yourself first and then let them figure it out because
Yeah.
you have to like strengthen your no muscles because honestly if you say no they'll find another way, but it's not
Yeah.
your responsibility. And
Yeah.
so that was really hard for me. Right,
Mm-hmm.
because family was like, family is first.
Yeah.
Family all the time. And I'm like,
Yep.
it's to a certain point where I had to put my you guys before myself. And at
You
what
can't
point
do
do I put
that.
up those boundaries? So yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
had to learn the hard way. But in that taught me my self-worth because I'm like,
No, yeah.
hold up, I actually what I got going on matters and you
No,
guys
yeah.
can wait. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what can people do to become more aware of energetic imbalances?
So what people can do is like a little exercise. So what you can do is like make sure that you're like in a spot where you're not going to be bothered. Make sure you're alone and just tune into your body. Whether it's like through meditation, you want to like lay down, close your eyes and do just like a body scan. We all have spiritual gifts. Like we all have it. Every single one of us have it. It comes in different. You have the clairaudient, clairsentient, you could feel, you could hear, you just know. And your body's going to tell you where there's an imbalance wherever in the body. If you feel heavy on the heart, that's the heart chakra. If you are, getting a slight headache, that's the crown. If, wherever part of your body, that tells you what it is, you know? And then you go on and you can, do your research on that. I like Pinterest. I like going on Pinterest and finding my little, shadow work prompts and stuff. Or, you can just, search and see where you get guided to, right? Intuitively.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I'm trying to get more into Pinterest.
I love
But
Pinterest.
so, what would you say? Yeah, I know. It's like I'm trying to understand it, but I am not. I'm still like not into social media, so I'm really
Okay.
trying to work on that. Um. So, question for you: like, I feel a lot of energy on the right side of my body. What do you think that means?
Um, I think, oh gosh, I don't remember. I think the right side is the feminine and the left side is a masculine. I might be wrong, but and then you could also say the right side can be the maternal side of your family and the left side could be the paternal. So like your mother, your father. So that's what it is, girl. So yeah.
You know what? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
hmm
Good to know. It makes a lot of sense.
Because that
Um,
that would be
yeah, and
the mother wound or the father wound.
mm,
Yeah.
mm. Good to yeah, because I don't
Bitch.
feel anything over here. 'Cause
Oh my gosh.
yeah, you did hit that one on a nail.
hmm
But the past 2 years has been a healing journey with me and my mother and all of
Mm.
those things. So, yeah, that makes perfect sense. And my father, he passed like almost 10
I'm
years ago.
sorry.
But before he did, thank you. But no, we're strong. We got a good
Yeah.
bond after the fact,
Yeah.
even stronger, actually. But we had a chance to heal a lot of things.
That's
So
good.
that makes sense why this side is all lighthearted and this side
Okay.
is all like, "Ah."
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Oh, girl, I'm healing my mother wound too, and it's so interesting with the divine feminine or whatever. Like I'm speaking for myself here. I come from a family where like emotional immaturity and just, we didn't speak things and stuff like that. And my inner teen is just like this raging, uncontrollable person that's just very passionate and passive aggressive when she speaks. And I operate from my like my wounded masculine energy, and I'm very like protective. I'm like I can be, I don't know if like if like do you allow cussing on your show? Okay.
Hey, this is a safe space. Let
I
it out.
I I am a bitch, okay? And I feel like there's a lot of women like myself that I feel like I never was able to be in my feminine energy. I'm healing from my mother wound too. So healing from the mother wound, and I was never able to, feel safe, or like they say, let your hair down and like do like whatever. Like I can't. It's so hard to be in the feminine energy because I can't. I feel like if I sit here and I stop everything that I'm doing, who's gonna protect me? Nobody. So I'm gonna keep on going. Type
Mm,
stuff, you know?
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally resonate with that. And, what's so interesting is in my family dynamic, as far as my parents, my father operated in his feminine energy, and my
Ooh.
mother operates in her
No
masculine energy.
way. Oh.
So, like, yeah, yeah. So he was the nurturing one, and like, I can't
Yeah.
even remember how many times I got hugged from my mother as a child. I
Mm,
don't know. So it was like, definitely like that. Like you said, we don't talk about our feelings over
yeah.
here. We got to be strong, and all of that. And yeah, so having to come around, as an adult and deal with that and like, hey, maybe you didn't nurture me like I wanted,
Mm-hmm.
but really embracing her for who she is and where she is, and just healing
Yeah.
those aspects of myself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's been a 2-year journey so far, and I'm sure I still have a lot more to go, but
Thank you.
we're in
Thank you
a
for
good
your
place.
vulnerability.
Yes, you're very welcome. I've learned to be open
Mm-hmm.
more about these things because I can say that I operate in my chart. I'm like almost completely balanced in my feminine and masculine, except I tip like one over to the masculine side. So I do operate in this space of like having to protect myself
Yes.
and the people
Yes.
around me,
Mm-hmm.
and in that protecting my emotions. So
Yeah.
yeah, I totally resonate with that
Mm-hmm.
too
Yeah.
much. Um, and in that, one thing I learned that a lot of the fears in my life have stemmed from my mother.
Yes.
Um, and I had to unlearn, yeah, I had to unlearn those things. So how do you think, or what advice would you give to people struggling to embrace their path and embrace their gifts, um, because of fear?
I would honestly say one of the things is to see where you can have like an outlet, right? I feel like see if you can have I believe in like you need to have cheerleaders, whether that's like your best friend or like you have like a community on Facebook or like wherever. You need that like energy, right? And I feel like that will assist you with those fears because your fears are valid. Your fears need to be heard, right? And I feel like that is just like a really good step to go on and start. And then after that, you go on and however people like to heal in different ways. I'm the type of person I like to meet trauma head on. If I have a fear, I sit there, I look at it for 3 seconds and I'm already there. Like I'm jumping off the cliff already.
Yeah.
That's the type of person that I am. So, you do you, whether that's through journaling, whether you're like me and you just want to go on and like let's just go on and get into it or whatever. Just make sure, like, going back to the root chakra and that support, it is so important. It does not have to be family. It does not have to be family. Whether it's a community, just you need like a cheerleader at least.
Yeah, that's something also that I have learned over the past couple years, is the importance
Mm-hmm.
of community, the
Mm-hmm.
importance of a support group. Um, and really, when I was going back over my, journey and the people that I've been around, I realized that I never really was around people who actually uplifted me instead of getting in the way.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And I realized, like, oh, wow. And I was trying to figure out, because I have this thing where I cycle through people, places, and things. I literally, everybody got a time limit. Every
Oh
place
my
has a time
God.
limit. Everything has a time limit. I
Oh
know, it's
no.
so horrible.
Oh no.
But it was just something I did because I'm like, at a certain point, it's just not aligning. So I'm just
Mm-hmm.
going to move on. And I realized that's because I was never around people who actually supported me.
Ooh,
Like, oh wow, that was a big revelation.
wow. That
Yeah.
must have hit. Oh. Mm.
Yeah. It was like, oh wow. Like, okay.
That's
So
so
actually
amazing.
now I'm on this journey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have a choice these days about these realizations. They just come in.
They
They like
smack you.
you can handle it.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh, but yeah, I realized the importance of building a community, and that's like my mission right now is actually taking the steps to surround myself with
Mm.
people who are on the same energetic frequency and that actually, can give me what I need instead of me giving other people what they need. Being a people pleaser. Oh yeah, I'm a major people pleaser. Yeah, I had to work through that one.
I can relate 1,000%. And I believe that we're all reflections of each other. And the reflection here between you and I feel like is so beautiful because in what you said, I feel like I can relate and I'm learning to just because I feel like a shift in someone or like it doesn't mean Cynthia like don't cut it off and keep it moving. Like it's like as an earth sign, as like triple earth, it's I had and like I had that same mentality. And even to this day, there's times with like my friend, I'll be like, girl, why are you doing this? Like, and there's like that toxic, unhealed part of me that's like, cut her off. But then like intuitively I'm like, no, it's okay. So crazy.
Look, I feel you.
Yes.
Yeah, and mostly, I am an air sign, so it's like I am hardly grounded. So if you ain't keeping up, I'm gonna float away and be like on to the next thing. But but then I looked in the mirror and I told myself, this is why you don't have friends now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. So definitely a big shift in energy and really embracing building my own community instead of the other thing was kind of just and chose from what was around me. I didn't actually actively seek a community. It was
Yes.
like people, maybe I vibe with you, maybe I don't vibe with you, so then I'll, be with you then.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just a
No,
situation
yeah.
type of
Absolutely.
deal.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we meet people energetically, and so they vibe for the moment. But I think it's something in actively seeking
Yeah.
people that you connect with to build long-lasting relationships. And yeah, that's something I'm working on.
Same. We're on this together.
It's hard, girl.
It is. I feel like it is. Yeah.
Yeah, my cut-off muscles are
I
strong.
know. That's like the first instinct I go to. And not only that, I feel like I've been hurt so much in the past. I I crave intimacy, but I fear it as well. Like, oh my gosh, dude, like in my head, I'm like, I don't want to go through what's your favorite color, like what's your relationship with your mom. Like, I don't want to go through all that. And then like I pull back, but then I'm like, but you're interesting. It's like this push and pull within me. She craves it, she hates it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and it makes sense because our charts are like the same, so we're thinking the
Yeah.
same here. But yeah, I'm like, so I've been single, like, oof, this is going on year 7, and I try to think about dating,
Hmm.
and I'm like, first of all, I'm very introspective. I'm an introvert. So I enjoy my time
Hmm.
alone, not having to bend to anyone's will, you know, compromise, they call it. But I just kind of got comfortable in this space. And so, and then I've been on a deep, uh, transformational, life changing journey. So it's like, how do I relate to people? Like you said, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? Like, I don't care.
I don't care about that.
What is your soul saying right now? Like, you know.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like trying to find the balance, right? Because I don't want to scare people off with like getting straight deep into it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But also all the superficial stuff I really don't care about.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really, you know, trying to learn to connect again and opening myself up
Yeah.
because I'm not scared of like, you know, of being vulnerable
Yeah.
these days. I'm really open. Like I'll just put it out there, but I just spend so much time alone. I don't got time
Yeah.
for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Any little thing that I don't like, I'm like, next.
Yep. I can relate.
Yeah, so I 1,000%. Yeah. So going back to like trusting yourself,
Mm-hmm.
trusting your intuition. Well, actually, first of all, before that, how can people tap into their spiritual gifts? Like, how do they find out what they are? How do they tap into it, nurture it, develop it?
Ooh. I think there's many ways. So with intuition, one of the things that I like to do and share is it's like as simple as like, what am I gonna eat today? And like asking your body. And this is like a good
Mm,
exercise because I've done it before where it's like I'll sit and I'll ask myself, oh, Cynthia, like, what do you want to eat today? And I'm getting this, but then I want this. And then I'm like, well, and then the other one that my intuition's not telling me, I go to there and then some fucked up shit happens and I'm like, damn it, I should have just went over here. Doing like mundane, like regular
mm,
everyday things like that. But another way is really, I'm telling you, meditation is just so important. Even if it's like a 5 minute, and you don't need to do a guided meditation, no one needs to be talking. I feel like really just laying down, sitting with yourself with your eyes closed, and just like asking your spirit guides, asking source, the universe, like, you know, what's a message for today? And that's going to come in like different ways, whether it comes through a person or with like a gift within yourself. I feel like that has to be like, it has to be through meditation. You have to set an intention, set the intention. It's not going to come to
mm,
you like quick. Um, just like trust, have faith, and continue the meditation for as long. And don't really think about it. I feel like when you really think about it, you miss it, you know?
mm, mm. Yeah. And going back to fear,
Hmm.
if fear didn't exist, what one thing would you do today if it didn't exist?
If fear did not exist, what one thing would Cynthia do today? Today. I would probably go to the beach. As simple as just like go to the
Mm,
beach. Honestly, I have this like weird relationship with time, and because I have children and they rely on me, I make sure like everything's like at a good time. And I have this fear like if Cynthia doesn't show up and Sebastian gets dropped off by the bus, what's gonna happen? Oh my gosh, you know, stuff like that. So I would go to the beach and just ground.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the ocean is definitely my happy place. It like immediately once you start like smelling the salt
Oh, it's
water and
so
then
beautiful.
hearing the seagulls and yeah, it just transports me. I'm from the Jersey Shore, so
Ooh,
you know I
okay.
grew up around water, and yeah, and I didn't know the importance, like really how important that was until I moved away and didn't have access to water. I was like, where's the water? Like, but because it's so nurturing, so grounding, and just kind of just has that energy of washing away whatever is going on in the world, and you're in that present moment.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so definitely a lot of people are giving off beach vibes. That you guys might be telling me something. Maybe I
Yes,
need
go
to
to
go
the
to the
beach.
beach.
Go to the beach. I know I do.
Yeah. So on that note, we're talking about like really taking the time to go inward
Mhm.
and listening to ourselves and trusting ourselves. How do you think people can begin to embrace their intuitive gifts, that sensitivity?
Ooh. Embrace it by listening it and not questioning it. Like literally. Also, I feel like if you want to get into the work that I do, be like one of the things that I like to say is like when I was first starting, I'm okay with being wrong. I'm okay with being wrong. It's that simple. Like you're learning, you're embracing, and it's like
It's that simple, but it's
no,
hard.
it is. I feel like it's like it's okay with being wrong and like where you make mistakes, really just step into that and forgive it. There's beauty in the mistakes, you know? There is beauty in the mistakes and
Mm,
just really just
mm.
flow. And I know it's so hard. I'm still having like issues with flowing, but just like really flow. And it's like this not giving a fuck energy without not giving a fuck, you know? If that makes sense.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah. Actually, I really learned to, like I said, that one book, The So Hard Not Giving a Fuck, Mark Manson,
Yeah.
shout out. It's like that really put me in the mind frame of it's okay to not like be so worried about this,
Yeah.
and that, and really put yourself first. I think that is the main point of all our journeys, is to really go within
Hmm.
and figure out, you know, our purpose, the reason we're here. Um, and that could be as simple as just healing the trauma in
Yeah.
your family.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be like this big, huge thing, but which actually that is a huge thing,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be like, oh, be rich, be a celebrity, or anything
Yeah.
like that. It's just really simple, of just loving ourselves and, like you said, embracing the flaws and all, the right and
Yeah.
wrong. Like, it really is okay to be wrong. Nobody is right all of the
Yeah.
time.
Hmm.
Nobody. So
Yep.
yes. So if people wanted to find you and find your work and work with you, how would they do that?
So you can go on my website, okay? And it's just simple www.randomspirithealing.com. Everything's there, girl. I have a podcast, it's Random Spirit, and then Instagram and TikTok, and then I do have a course of healing generational trauma through the chakras, and all that is in my website.
Love it. And so, with that in mind, what is the one message that you would want to leave everybody with today? Your final transmission.
Ugh. Oh man. You got me thinking. You got me thinking on this one. What is one message?
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
One message is, oh, okay. You know how like people say like, oh, like when people sit with the what ifs and the negative, I know I do this a lot. But like what if it all works out? I'm gonna leave it like that. What if it all works out? What if like the best scenario ever happened? Yes.
Mm. Yeah, I think a lot of us struggle with the what ifs,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's just life.
Yeah.
Especially when you're like ambitious or you're trying to accomplish something. But like you said, it's so easy to be like the negative side of things, but just as easy as that is, what about the positive side?
Yes.
Because either one could happen. It's really up to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have
right?
the same.
So we could think negative because it just seems to be easier.
Yeah.
But what if we start thinking positive? And that's something that I started doing a couple years ago. Instead of going into the whole downward spiral of, oh my God, I just said, no, let's do it the opposite
Yeah.
direction. Because wherever I put my energy is what's going to manifest.
Yes.
So yeah, that's a great message.
Yes.
And so, where does the universe take you next?
Oh, where does the universe take me next? To soul-aligned souls. Soul-aligned souls that align with me.
Yeah, hey, that's my mission as
Yeah.
well. So it looks like we're already starting off good there.
Yes.
Well, yes, thank you so much for connecting with me out here. And until next time, everyone, these were another set of transmissions from the cosmic space.
All right. Bye.
That transmission gave me goosebumps, like, and I'm wearing a cosmic suit.
Confirmed. Emotional frequency elevated.
Where to next, Arden?
Destination locked. The Garden of Soul Truths.